In this video, I want to have a look at inequalities. So an inequality is a statement that has a pronumeral or a letter and an inequality sign, which is one of these four here. So an inequality is kind of similar to an equation, except an equation usually only has one or two or some set number of answers, whereas an inequality can have an infinite number of solutions. So the four inequality signs that we need to know are these ones here. So this first one means less than. This second one here means greater than. And these next two are sort of similar to our first ones, except they also have this extra line on them, and that means or equal to. So this one is like a less than or equal to, and a greater than or equal to. All right, the other thing that we need to know is when we draw equations on a number line, there's different ways of representing depending on which inequality sign we have. So this one's a little bit hard to see here, but this is a circle that's not coloured in, whereas this one's a circle that is coloured in. So if we have either of these symbols, a less than or a greater than, that means the number itself isn't actually included. So we would draw an open circle around it. So we use that with a less than or a greater than symbol. Whereas the coloured in dot means that the actual number is part of the solution as well. So that would be a less than or equal to, or a greater than or equal to. Right, so let's have a look at some questions involving inequalities. So our first example asks us to write an inequality statement that says a number n is greater than 10. So we'd write our number that's represented by the letter n. We want that to be greater than 10. So we're going to use our greater than symbol, so be greater than 10. Our question 2 says 6 more than a number y is greater than or equal to minus 2. So this first bit, 6 more than a number y. So if we have a number y and we want 6 more than that, that means we would have y plus 6. So we want 6 more than a number y, that whole expression, to be greater than or equal to minus 2. So we'd have greater than or equal to minus 2. All right, our next one actually involves two inequalities. So it says a number q lies between minus 4 and minus 7. So if it lies between minus 4 and minus 7, so if you think about a number line, actually we've got some down the bottom, how handy. We've got minus 4 here and we've got minus 7 down here. So our number needs to be greater than minus 7 but less than minus 4. So we're going to have it greater than minus 7 and less than minus 4. So even though this is sort of usually our less than symbol, because we're reading it this way, it reads as q is greater than minus 7. Or you can think of it, if we want q to be bigger than minus 7, then that means that minus 7 has to be less than q. All right. The next question asks us to graph each inequality on a number line. So this one, we want x to be greater than minus 1. So because it's a greater than symbol, not a greater than or equal to, we're going to use an open circle at minus 1. Put an open circle there. And it's greater than, oops, so it's going to be coming up to the right. So we've got an arrow coming up this way. We'll put an arrow on the end. So there are an infinite number of solutions here. Any number that's greater than minus 1 satisfies that inequality. Our next one says m is less than or equal to 6. So less than or equal to means that the number 6 actually is part of the solution. So we're going to colour in that circle. We've got a coloured in dot instead of just an open one. And we want it less than or equal to, so it's going to be going down to the left. All right, so it's a few problems involving inequalities.